What's going on, everybody? The world is a better place because you are here to join us. My name is Matthew Brown, and I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. And it's Thursday, September 19th, 2024. And we are right at the middle of the end of September, inching towards October. But the fall is really here. The leaves are starting to change here in the Northeast, and the vibes are up. We're so glad to have you join us for our weekly picks episode. We have picks for week 4 of the college football season and week 3 in the NFL. And as you can see in the title, we are going to quickly discuss Eli Manning's Hall of Fame candidacy. And before I get into that, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe to the Productive Conversations podcast on all podcast platforms and YouTube. And don't forget to check us out on all social media platforms at ProdConvoPod on X, at Productive Conversations Podcast on Instagram. And you could also check us out on X, Instagram, and you can also check us out on YouTube at Productive Conversations. Oh, and also don't forget to check us out on TikTok at Productive Conversations. And thank you, as always, to our presenting sponsor, Magic Mind, for always having our backs. And I promise you, if you get your first subscription from Magic Mind, that you can get at a special discount, magicmind.com/PCMB, and use the discount code PCMB20 and get 48% off your first subscription or 20% off your first one-time purchase. You are going to get a product that if you take every single day before your day, that you will have, because of the nootropics in it, your mental clarity's up, your inflammation goes down, your quality of life improves immensely. And I promise you, I promise you, take advantage of the discount code. It's also in the description below on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. And thank you, as always, to Magic Mind for always sponsoring this show. So it was announced today that the Pro Football Hall of Fame made its nominations for the 2025 class. Nominations include Marshawn Lynch, first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. Luke Kuechly, first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. Terrell Suggs, Earl Thomas also should be considered. But truly the biggest headline in the nominations for your Pro Football Hall of Fame class, which will be announced the day before the Super Bowl, is your quarterback, Eli Manning. Elijah Manning has been nominated for the first time for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And there is no doubt in my mind, not a single doubt, that Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. And probably the one pro athlete my entire life that people have debated and questioned his greatness is Eli Manning, and for stupid reasons as well. Not only did Eli Manning have an immensely successful career in the National Football League from 2004 to 2019, 15 years, the man not only won championships, not only won Super Bowl MVPs, but he did it with class, perseverance, and insane influence. And if we want to just go through some stats right now to prove how Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer, not only the big obvious one that he is a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, and who are the other quarterbacks that actually have that distinction? It's only all-time greats. Bart Starr, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Montana. And in those 2 games, and specifically the Super Bowl 42, where he cemented his legacy in defeating the greatest modern football team we will ever see in the undefeated Patriots, a team that was a 14-point underdog going into it. The fact that he led that game-winning drive, the fact that he showed his accuracy in that only is a huge major example of why he should be a Hall of Famer. And not only that, 4 years later, he does it again in Super Bowl 46 against the New England Patriots, where he shows that accuracy, being under pressure throughout that game. And not only the Mario Manningham play, the David Tyree play, that right there is enough of a reason to make him a Hall of Famer. And if we want to go through those, and if people always want to discredit him, say, oh, it was really the defense who really won it. Justin Tuck should have been the MVP both times. That's some bullshit. He was the one down late in the fourth quarter twice. He was the one who brought them down the field. Obviously, the David Tyree catch in Super Bowl 42, the game-winning, Super Bowl-winning touchdown pass to Plaxico Burress, and then obviously the Mario Manningham play brings it down the field. Ahmad Bradshaw runs it in with his sit-down touchdown. The rest is history. And if you want to discredit him and think that he was carried by a defense, well, why don't we talk about the 15 touchdowns during his postseason career and only 2 interceptions? Why don't we talk about going to Lambeau Field twice, whether defeating Aaron Rodgers on that Super Bowl run in 2011 or defeating Brett Favre, literally ending his career in Green Bay in one of the coldest games of all time with Tom Coughlin and his peachy red, freezing cold cheeks. He was the one who led those drives to get those scores, get Lawrence Tynes in there to kick the NFC clinching field goal right there. We could also talk about him winning in Dallas. We could also talk about the couple times he won at home in the playoffs. And yeah, it speaks for himself. 8-4 during his playoff career. And okay, you want to say he's lucky, you want to say whatever, even though he's not lucky to do it twice. But we can also add to the fact that his regular season is clearly taken for granted, which includes top 10 in passing yards as of this moment, more than John Elway, in fact. We can also credit top 10 in passing touchdowns more than Johnny Unitas, Joe Montana, and John Elway. And obviously, the best thing he's remembered for, not only 210 straight starts from 2004 to 2017. And in an era with clearly the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, whether he was playing on god-awful teams with teammates who would discredit him, Tiki Barber, but, water's under the bridge. I love you, Tiki. Just want to say that. Or if we want to talk about, obviously, winning with the legendary offensive lines that got him those championships. And then the season after that in 2008, where things went right, but Plaxico Burress shoots himself and it all turns into a big mess. And then the tail end of his career where we had just nothing going on. But the fact that he came in every single week in the most hostile media market around, and he kept playing, never badmouthed the teammate, never badmouthed the coach, never badmouthed the front office. He just showed up each and every single week and proved why he is always in there no matter what, even with the beatings it takes to be an NFL quarterback. He was consistent. And might also add, obviously, on the road, 2012 NFC Championship, where he was getting beaten. The famous image of his uniform slipping and the shoulder back coming out when you have all-time greats like Patrick Willis and that insane secondary that Jim Harbaugh cooked up with the 49ers, and he still stayed in there despite all of that pain he was going through. Gets us where we need to be. Lawrence Tynes kicks it in once again and gets us back to the Super Bowl. Also more road playoff wins than his own brother. And Brett Favre on top of that. This guy, the disrespect that he has always received despite the numbers proving it both in the regular season and in the playoffs, showing that he deserves to be amongst the all-time greats. And I know for a fact that even if it's not first ballot, which it should, there will be a day that these writers recognize the greatness. And I do think people are starting to finally come to grips and realize that Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. And yeah, if you want to talk about all the, ending his career at 500 or not being an All-Pro or not being an MVP, well, I gave you plenty of reasons, both in the regular season and postseason, why those don't bring him down and why he is one of the best quarterbacks we will see. And when you see his face and mural in Canton, Ohio, and hopefully that day is confirmed this February, and when you see him there for life. And for all the ignorant people who think he doesn't deserve it, and for all the people who think he'll be he'd have the least amount of talent to make the game, well, why don't you shut your fucking face as if you could do any better? And if anything, the 210 consecutive starts in the NFL proves that alone. And if you want to say I don't know football, which obviously isn't true, with 3 straight years covering this NFL alone, and then 2 years in college football, and, all the years of me taking this sport in, I know what the hell I'm talking about. I might not always be right. My takes might not always be spot on, and my picks might not always be perfect, but we were perfect this past week in college and went 2-1 in the NFL. So I'm doing really well for myself. The eye test shows and the stat shows that Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. And for those who do not believe what I'm saying and do not believe he deserves his place in Canton, shame on you. And go read a book. Go to YouTube and see what this guy pulled off. And Eli Manning changed the NFL forever with his 2 major wins in this league. Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer, and if you don't believe that, do something else with yourself and use your energy for that ignorance and replace it with something else. Thank you, Eli. You are the New York Giants. And even in the times where the organization themselves didn't believe in you, you still put your body on the line. You still did everything you could to win football games, and you will forever have my respect. Not only as an obvious NFL Hall of Famer, but as a man. Good thing people are starting to realize it now. And for those who don't, get a life. So that's what I have to say there. Now let's go to our picks. As I mentioned, undefeated in college last week and 2-1 in the NFL. So pretty good. 5-1. Let's go for a perfect sweep on both fronts. So I'm picking top 25 games this week for college football as we begin here. USC and Michigan, big game, right? USC coming from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten was a big deal. And for a very big, high-profile matchup such as this one, USC is your 5.5-point favorites. And I believe you should take those points. Due to the fact that Michigan, despite starting 2-1, has had their struggles running the ball. Don't know what they're doing with their quarterback exactly. And even though they have only covered once in the first 3 weeks, I think USC, with a team on the rise, with a rejuvenated roster, with a more comfortable quarterback situation and offense, I believe the USC defense especially can hold down the Wolverines. Even though it will be a tough environment to go to the big house, I believe USC can pull off this victory and cover 5.5 points. That's going to be an interesting game to watch. Give me USC minus 5.5. We have the U, Miami, Cam Ward, probably my favorite college football player right now, going up against South Florida, who has given Alabama a run for their money. And this is going to be one big matchup, and the minus 16.5 is quite the spread. But I think with an explosive offense like the U has, obviously with a Heisman favorite in Cam Ward, and as long as their weapons can get separation against the secondary and the defensive backs of Florida, I believe we can have Miami score a lot of points. As long as the Miami defense can hold down South Florida's offense, who too can be scrappy. You might be sweating it out, but give me minus 16.5 for the U. And then this one right here, after the controversy with the University of Tennessee adding a talent fee for their tickets. Silly, absolutely silly. Everybody trying to get a buck. And for all that NIL money, somebody has to pay for it. So I'm sorry for those who's dealing with that in Tennessee. But we have the Oklahoma Sooners going to take on the Vols, and give me the Oklahoma Sooners at +7 over Tennessee. I genuinely think the bad karma that Tennessee has with these ticket fees, plus an Oklahoma team that is underrated on defense and can score points themselves, even in a hostile environment going down to Tennessee with some annoyed fans, I believe that the Sooners could get this victory. And I think If not, they will keep it close. And the +7 is a really good number there. So those are my college picks. -5.5 for USC over Michigan. -16.5 for the University of Miami over the University of South Florida. And then +7 for Oklahoma over Tennessee. Now let's go to the NFL. And 2-1. Close but no cigar. Let's try to sweep this week. So games that really caught my eye include the Bucks -7.5 over the Denver Broncos. As we can see, maybe the Bucks might be the most interesting team in the NFL right now. I know people are really excited about the New Orleans Saints, but how far can they go? Because we've seen Derek Carr collapse in the middle of the season before. Too early to tell there. But what I can see here so far, with no major injury problems with the Bucks and a Broncos team that's still trying to figure them out, and Bo Nix has not looked good in his first 2 starts, I believe that the Bucks, with a pretty solid defense, and Baker Mayfield showing that he's him, that they could score points on this Broncos team that's trying to figure themselves out on both sides of the ball. And I think winning by a touchdown isn't that crazy. So give me the Bucks -6.5. We have the Seahawks and the Miami Dolphins. Interesting game right here. And definitely sweating it out, trying to figure out where this will go. But let us talk about how I believe the Seahawks, who have had some crazy 2-0, crazy wins. They are 2-0 right now. And I don't know, is it a fraud 2-0? We still have a little bit of time to figure out what these teams are. But Miami without Tua, and you put Skylar Thompson in with one of the better run games in A-Chan, still figuring out what's going on with Mostert. Here, and the Seahawks run defense specifically isn't to write home about. I believe as long as the Miami defense, which I understand there could be some concerns there, but as long as the Miami defense can hold Geno Smith, who hasn't had a hot start, and as long as Miami can score the run game, because it looks like they are going to more of a running offense. But what's great, you still have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, who can still be one of the best 1-2 punches on the receiving end. I believe Skylar Thompson's short passes can create, obviously with Hill and Waddle, that they could create much separation, and you'll see that yak number grow very high. So this is a risky one, but one I feel okay about, and that is Miami +4 over the Seattle Seahawks. And then we have the Ravens and the Dallas Cowboys, right? Ravens, maybe the most surprising 0-2 start. And then Dallas at their home opener last week, an ugly showing against the New Orleans Saints. I believe that the Ravens are a much better team. I believe that Lamar Jackson will take this opportunity to get back in the fold and get the mojo back that he's been saying the team needs. And a good opportunity with Dallas after a bad loss. This is a good chance for the Ravens to run away with it. Only this time, make sure you use Derrick Henry in the first half and the second half. A lot of it was second half. He didn't really step until the second half against the Raiders, and he kept it close. But I think that the Ravens could take advantage of a hurt in Dallas team, especially in the secondary. So give me the Ravens -1 on the road against Dallas. Again, maybe close, but I believe that Lamar Jackson can help run away with this over a Dallas secondary that might have some holes in it. So let's check that out. So again, NFL -6.5 over the Broncos, the Dolphins +4 over the Seahawks, and the Ravens -1 over Dallas. And again, with college picks, USC -5.5 over Michigan, Miami -16.5 over South Florida, and Oklahoma +7 over Tennessee. And Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. So with that, my name is Matt Brown. I will see you all tomorrow with the tweet cap. I'll see you on Monday recapping week 3 of the NFL season and week 4 of the college football season. And have a great day, everybody. Let's get a sweep on both leagues.